There's not many goats that didn't make sacrifices.
Oh.
You get more haters, you get more hurdles, you get more distractions.
Every business has its ups and downs. I don't think that you should discount with your friends.
My favorite thing about Jesus is the selfless mentality that he creates.
The devil's going to always kind of know how to get at you. If you're my friend, why wouldn't you say something good about it anyway?
Goated Podcast is back, and I am pumped up because it has been a hiatus that was not justified. Well, we've been growing into the new buildings. Goated has been growing. The Goated Podcast had to take a back seat, so I apologize to all of you that have been listening and waiting. And now we have video finally, and that is why my first guest is one of my good friends with the video, and we're in his studio.
Yeah.
Cory has become a great friend of mine the last couple of weeks. The Goated mentality has been taking over the world. Every package has been getting the Goated mentality booklet. And one of the biggest things in the Goated mentality is having good friends, good people around you. So I have one of my good friends on this podcast as we launch back the Goated Podcast, and I'm pumped for that.
Yeah, excited to be a guest. It's weird because I'm used to being on the other side doing the interview. So
yes,
it's kind of it's actually kind of nice just to show up and not have to have like a plan and research and study and so all that stuff. So yeah, man, I'm honored to be on the show.
Pumped. And we're in the Brighter Side Studios.
Yep.
We're going to be doing Goated Podcasts from here. If you're local or if you want to fly in, he's got the best team, the best equipment. He's got 3 or 4 rooms in here, working on a 5th room.
Yeah.
Great business model. I'm pumped to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, cool.
So we met a couple weeks ago. Well, no, a couple months ago now.
A couple months ago, yeah.
And we meet Tuesday mornings. I was on your podcast. Check out the Brighter Side podcast. It's awesome.
Man, I still get a lot of calls. I was just reading the whole Michael Jordan's The Grove. I have a video that we did, Kevin talking about golfing at the Grove, and man, there are so many people arguing back and forth on that. Presidents are welcome there. Whoever wants to go there, it's open to the public. I like at this point, I just respond like this.
You can't read the comments, and we've talked about that. No publicity, bad publicity. Which,
right, exactly.
The comments are crazy.
It just keeps rolling.
And people will chime in for us now at this point. They'll go, no, you actually can't play. Well, if you can, go play the Grove. Try it.
That's
There's
what
4 gates. Try to get
out of it, bro. I just like, hey, I actually don't know. Kevin's, take this up with Kevin, man. I'm just the guy that interviewed him.
I love it. Well, we had a good talk about life, about the brighter side of life. We talked about what's most important. And since we last did a podcast, my life's changed in major ways. And a lot of you guys that are going to listen and then have been following us on Instagram and all of our shows and streaming platforms, YouTube got launched, and Goated's grown a ton. You've been a big piece of that because every Tuesday we meet, and our iron sharpen iron, like men's Bible study we do every Tuesday, has been a game changer for me and a great thing for me. And you're one of those people that have poured into my life and that.
Yeah, me too.
And it's tough as we've grown. We've talked about that. You get more haters, you get more hurdles, you get more distractions, you get more people wanting to be a part of it, quote unquote, or wanting the free stuff, or wanting you to do their lights for free or their whatever for free.
Yeah, for sure.
And we've grown from that, and also had good talks. We're in the most beautiful city in the world down here in Naples, Florida. And golf is flourishing. The economy's flourishing down here, and we're free in Freedom Town.
Yep.
So more and more people want to be a part of things that we're doing because of the city we live in.
Yeah, Naples is beautiful. I mean, it's like
hard to beat.
Yeah, that's just. I'm glad I live here. I guess is the best thing I can say. Anytime I travel somewhere else, I'm like, it's nice, but it's not Naples.
Yep. You're making it prettier too. So tell me about Paradise Lights.
Yeah. So we own a Christmas light company. So we do indoor, outdoor lighting. We do our biggest portion of our business is Christmas lights. That's starting to even out a little bit with the outdoor lighting and stuff like that, but it still is the biggest part of it. I mean, Christmas lights are, they're fun. They're cool. It's exciting business in the sense that it's makes people happy. People happy to see us come and happy to see us, also come back and take them down.
Yeah.
And, but it's kind of a crazy business because it's so concentrated. I mean, it's so concentrated in basically October to December when most people want their lights up. So, I mean, as a business, you got to obviously want to do as many jobs as you can, but more jobs, more trucks, more lifts, more people. Like, it isn't just as easy as do more lights, It's like, man, okay, there's there's definitely a side to it. And it's just extremely stressful because you also have to deal with, callbacks, especially here in Florida with the water and the rain and Christmas lights. There's just like outlets tripping and things don't work. Squirrels, animals, rats chew on the wires. Just, every business has its ups and downs. But for Christmas lights, or in my world, it's like all these jobs and then, people calling with problems. Like, how the heck am I going to even like fix this? I got 4 jobs I got to get done today. I got a truck broke down, just all that stuff. It's just like craziness. It's like you almost do need a couple months when you're done. It's like tax season, but with no extensions, like it's got to be done by April, and there's no like pushing it back. So
that's why I'm glad you brought it up, because I was going to ask, like, the discipline. Go-to mentality is a part of the go-to mentality is 7 days unlocking your inner goat is discipline. Yeah. And I know the business side, and a lot of people listening would say, obviously you need to have discipline if a lot of your revenue is coming in 3 or 4 months of the year. Yeah. But the discipline to plan for that, and then also to maintain and deal with the most beautiful city in the world, very expensive place to live. Yeah. It's not the easiest clientele to deal with all the time.
So, not always. No.
Highest expectations.
Yeah, high expectations, no really understanding sometimes, again, because a lot of times there's outlets that we deal with that are tripping that like aren't our fault, but they don't use these outlets all year round, and then all of a sudden they pay a bunch of money and a Christmas lights gets plugged in, and then that's how they realize, like, oh, this thing trips. A lot of times when we show up, it's tripped. It's just like people don't really want to understand it, and they're yelling and mad. Naturally, they want their lights to work, but I'm like, it's like going to keep happening because you need to change your outlet, and a lot of times when they change your outlet, they're like, oh, sorry for all those. You were right, and you're like, it's part of it. I mean, as long as they're cool, but yeah, there's always somebody that's mad at you about something. It feels like, at least. How did the
Brighter Side Studios come about?
Yeah, so the studio is a new thing. I was going to all these networking events and, all these different things. And we've kind of talked about that. It's just not really my scene. I don't drink. I'm married. I want to be home with my family and spend home with my kids and stuff like that, and my wife. And while it's important to network and stuff like that, it just isn't my scene. I don't enjoy it. It's not like I'm not there. I'm literally there for business. And if we ain't talking business, I'm like, want to be out. And I just kind of kept feeling like, landscape lighting, lights and Christmas lights, it's not that I don't think it's interesting, but overall, it's just not like something a lot of people want to sit down and like, let's get into it, And so I was like, hey, how can I get in front of these people and some of these people that I want to talk to? And so that's why I decided to start a podcast. I moved into this newer building, and had all this extra space. And I'm like, what the heck am I going to do with this? All these extra offices and stuff like that. And so when people would come in to do my podcast, they would always be like, man, this is really nice. This is so cool. And I'm like, man, maybe I should try to utilize these rooms. And so we really are just getting, I think you're like our second episode of someone coming in and filming their podcast here and stuff like that. So it's brand new. But I think it's going to be good. I think a lot of podcasting is big. It's a good way to tell your message. It's a good way to get in front of your audience in a different way, in a more intimate way. And people can go back, you can chop it up, you can use it on social, and, there's a lot of upsides to podcasting. But what I'm learning is that there's a lot more behind the scenes that goes on, that, it's the days of just like using your camera and just putting a couple cameras up. Really, you can do it. Everybody's budget's different, but it's
if you're a business owner and you want high quality stuff, you got to use, and I have my space. We have our new building, and you saw it. I had this room that was going to be the podcast room, and it quickly became a storage in my office and a place where we could have a phone call. So I think it's a genius idea. I'm glad you've got it. I'm glad we're one of the first ones in here. Yeah. And Goated's going to sponsor. We got some ideas for every other company that uses this space.
Yeah. Which is nice, because as you're starting something, getting going, just having anybody to help you out. Because right now it's just costing me from a business, since we're talking business or whatever. It's just costing me every single episode. People, sometimes like, oh, I just want to jump on the show. And I'm like, man, it's not that I don't want to have you on the show. But it's like, I also have to be strategic in the people that I want to have on, or it has to be somebody that I really want to, I just really want to talk to. And just like having everybody on that wants to come on, it's like, hey, do you want to maybe sponsor me for a show? Throw some money here, because it's everything costs money right now. So it's like you're like any business. So a lot of times you don't start a business and make money right off the bat. if you do, that's awesome. But
Yep.
most people,
Gotta
there's
put
a
some skin
period
in
of
the game.
time that's like, it's just like kind of sweat equity.
Yep. No, I like it. I mean, what I wanted to talk about a lot today too is the beauty of it. And you and I talked about this the last couple weeks at our Bible study and privately. The benefit of taking a stand of being a person that's going to be a family man and a businessman and someone that believes in God and someone that honors God and wants to honor God with their choices. Sometimes guys like us need a podcast to go, hey, I have this decision I'm going to make to say this publicly, right?
Yep.
And now it holds me to this other standard where if I just lived in the shadows and didn't say certain things and didn't have a podcast that turned spiritual for a couple minutes or a podcast that I say things that might be offensive, that not politically and sometimes politically, but say things that might be offensive to like how I live.
Yeah.
There are people that get offended that you don't drink. There are people that get offended that that's not your scene to go to certain places, right?
Right, for sure.
But it holds us accountable. It helps us become accountable because it's like, now I just made this statement. Whether I really do want to sometimes go to the bar or the casino or wherever else, right? Now I've made the statement. I need to be a better man and live by it, or they're just gonna go, your podcast is fake.
Yeah, right.
So being real, which we have been, and even on your podcast, a lot of them get to that spiritual side. We've had some guests that talk about their walk as a business owner, as a successful person, and their walk as a dad, a husband, and trying to be a better person. So I want to talk about that. So the podcast side has been great for me because I had my dad on Father's Day, which was really cool. My son was on it for a little bit on the Father's Day podcast, if you listen back in the past. And just hearing from people, and then I have my brother who wrote a book at the time. And then we've had guys that are fighting UFC. We've had guys that coach Tiger Woods. We're going to have Vince Carter in a couple of weeks. We have Tito Ortiz. We got some things we're working on with the athletes there too. But we celebrate goats every month, we say. But the real goat was Jesus. The real goat to walk the earth was Jesus. And I like to lean into business owners and friends on these on these shows just to kind of encourage people that are listening.
Yeah.
So I say all that to say, tell me about fatherhood, business, not sacrificing character for more business, things that you've come across or hurdles that you come across without mentioning names, I guess.
I think I like what you're saying. I mean, it's not that I should rephrase that. It's not that I don't like enjoy going out, but I mean like there's trouble at those places. You know what I mean? There's places that are like, hey, it just puts me, I mean, I'm a guy, like, it's not that like you don't see a pretty girl and go, oh, I don't see pretty girls anymore or whatever, it's like, but I mean, I'm married and that's the most important thing to me. And, I think, I've been married 19 years. So, with my wife, she's like my best friend. I know that sounds cliche or cheesy, but I mean, like, that's who I want to hang out with. And my kids are growing up and they're at, an age where, I have them looking at me too, because I got a 17-year-old and a 13-year-old. And so they're seeing what I'm doing. They're seeing my actions. And I don't know. I think that ultimately that's my job, is to be, a dad first, a husband first. I mean, if this business fails, like, I still have them as a responsibility. Exactly. And, like you said, I mean, even a different level, a different devil. So it's like, doesn't mean that you're ever, no matter how successful you are in business, you're always going to have distractions. And like you said, the devil's going to always kind of know how to get at you or to tempt you. A lot of times for guys, could be women or money or, like lust, I guess. I don't know, but. So
it's really good. So, I had a phrase a couple weeks ago that God gave me and it was awesome. And the more, I should say, and we've talked about it, the more I open the word, stuff just comes to me that's not in the word, right? That God's going, hey, they're playing defense on you, like I said Tuesday, right?
Yeah.
It's way better than them saying, let them shoot.
Yeah.
And if you're getting especially defense.
I play basketball, so they're like, you can shoot it.
Yeah, that's the worst thing you could hear. Let them shoot. But one thing a couple weeks ago was, and so huge for me, is there's friends of ours and friends that we see and friends from the past in other cities that we see make decisions that are obviously, if you're married, you're putting yourself in the lion's den, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And I was praying about this to have conversations with friends that are walking into the lion's den because their answers are typically, hey, I'm there to network. I can control myself. Don't worry. You know?
Yeah.
And I get it. So can I. But Daniel was rescued from the lion's den, but he didn't walk into the lion's
Yeah.
den. When
for
you
sure.
choose to walk into the lion's den, I don't know if God's going to help you get out of those situations as
Yeah.
much as we think we can. Now, if you're
Yeah.
going to willingly walk into the furnace and not be thrown in there, I don't know if Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego just walk straight in there, right?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I always flip it around too. It's like, okay, well, you know, what if I was sitting at home and my wife was here, would I be okay with it?
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, again, that doesn't mean that anybody there is doing anything
No,
bad
yeah.
or that anybody's there for the wrong reasons. But I mean, ultimately, whoever that person is that's there and saying, you know, they're for networking, it comes down to you, yourself, and God. I mean, like he knows your conscience. You know what I mean? He knows if you're really like, are you? There's one thing to look at, like if you use lust for example. There's one thing to like look at a pretty girl and like not take a second look, but it's the, you know, it's the second look that becomes okay. Now you're like, you know, I mean, God made beautiful women and men too, like you know, good looking guys. So I don't know. That's just kind of where I always kind of helps me ground. Like if my wife was like, if I had, you know, if I was live streaming right now, would my wife be like, who are you talking to? Or like, you know, whatever. And so that's just like my own integrity. I don't expect anybody else to hold that same like thought process that I do. But that's just how I, you know, and I'm not saying I'm perfect at it, but I mean, it's like a conscious thing, like almost when I'm there, maybe that's why I don't like it. Cause I'm like, man, I don't know. This just isn't always, or like maybe I had somebody, one of my guests actually said, he's like, I don't do any networking events if there's alcohol. And he's like, that seems, cause he's like, also like, are they drunk? Are they even going to remember the conversation? So he's like, if there's alcohol there, he's like, I don't go. And if it's like more like in the daytime or in the, you know, like lunch or something like that, tends to be maybe a little bit more business-like. I don't know. So
interesting.
That's just the thought.
Yeah, those might be decisions we make to stay away from certain things that cause us to stumble. Right? It's that's another day in the go-to mentality is circle of influence and making hard decisions. And if you struggle with food, don't go to a buffet. You struggle with drinking, you shouldn't sit at the bar. You should sit somewhere else. If you struggle with it and you want to acknowledge that. That's part of being goated. And then I say frequently on all our podcasts too, and we'll talk about goats, but there's not many goats that didn't make sacrifices, right? There's not many goats that said, hey, I'm going to end it a little bit early tonight because I got to shoot around at 8:00 or I got to get with my trainer at 7. I got to do breath work or cold plunge, whatever it is. And those things are not easy when you're going till 3 a.m, 4 a.m, doing stuff you shouldn't be doing or whatever. There's sacrifices to make. So it's part of the go-to mentality, that circle of influence. I think great points of its decisions we make. And then you brought up something is that focus and that deciding factor of what am I living for? And you and I talk about that a lot is like, man, time's our most valuable asset. And if we're going to waste time on, well, no, I shouldn't say waste time. If you're going to put an initiative together for Q4 to go, I'm going to grow my YouTube channel. I would look at, or I'm going to build a YouTube channel, right? What's the motive? Is the motive so that I look better, so that I make more money, so that I can have cool guests or have more women around or whatever it is, right?
The cloud.
Those won't be honored, I don't think, or I know they won't be honored as most things are, or those decisions are made. So I would examine those, and we talk about that all the time, is the time wasted when you start to think clearly. It's like that fasting, right? You fast from going out at night and you start to get visions going, or you start to see more clearly. You start to see more clearly going, man, what a waste of time of a shoe review podcast is, or what a waste of time this is. You don't even sell shoes. You don't even have a restaurant. What are you doing? So, and you have kids, so you're wasting time doing this for what? To build this and that, and it's a decision we have to make. And I hope that hearing this, because I need to hear it all the time, is like, why are you building a channel about football? You don't have a target for football. You know, or why are you doing that?
That's crazy that you say that, because I've been like kind of struggling with that, like even from my own podcast that I do, the brighter side, which is basically like Kevin said, you know, I'm interviewing local. I mean, as it grows, yeah, hopefully I can, I can grow the people that want to come on my show. But right now I'm just utilizing local people that I can touch base with. But gosh, I forgot where I was going with that.
Well, I think I know where you're going. Like the influence you have. Well, when you have those guests on, you're creating a platform for them too to now go, I'm going to make better decisions, and they're looking at the brighter side.
Yeah.
So now they leave your show and they say, all right, I'm going to look at the brighter side of life, right? I have so much going for me, and this is what I need to be held to, and the standard.
Well, what I was going to say, it just came back to me. So what I was going to say is like, I've kind of, when I first started out, it was just business owners. I had no like necessarily any like criteria, but it kind of naturally turned into like, I don't want to call it a ministry, but kind of starting to feel like that, where it's like, I've just noticed that I enjoy talking to entrepreneurs that are, have the same faith that I do, so I can ask them about that, because I'm genuinely interested in basically kind of like what you're asking me. But, once you decide to go down that road, you cut off a lot of people because, that's just how it is when you follow Jesus.
Yeah.
It's already
narrow
hard.
path.
It's not popular. Everybody expects you to know literally everything about the Bible, or else like, why would you believe it? And it's like, you don't really get it. You haven't even read the Bible either. So like you're judging off something that you haven't even read. So it's like watching a movie trailer and be like, oh, I know what the movie's all about. And you're like, all right. But I feel like it's hard because you're trying to go down a road where you're wanting to like, hey, I want to have, I want to talk about this, and I want this to be my focus. And, it'd be much easier to go a different route, probably go the worldly route. And, but at the end of the day, what I've just realized for myself is like, I can't remember the scripture off the top of my head, but it's, it talks about like, ask Jesus and it will be given. Yeah. But the important part of that is that it also talks about like, as long as it's like honoring him, and it's not just like you said, okay, hey, I want this big following so that I can have, a newer car or more cloud or more people coming at me and more money. But then like, okay, well, if you're already not being a good steward with your money, like, I'm not saying it can't happen, but I don't know that like God's gonna be the one. Like, I don't know if you should be, maybe, I don't want to say you shouldn't pray about it, but maybe like it's just an unanswered prayer, because God's like, no, that's actually protecting you, because that's going to be bad for you, because I know how this is going to end. So for me, that's been kind of a decision I've kind of recently made, to kind of say, hey, I really am like wanting to focus more on like making sure that like maybe that's a criteria that I have for people in the show, is their faith. But I mean, I don't want it to be like the only thing, but it's like, that's definitely going to be where I'm going, where I'm even starting to do more like just talking more about Jesus. Cause I'm like, at the end of the day, my legacy, at least I want to be able to say, hey, I'm doing something for the betterment of humans. And I mean, whether you want to take it in or not, that's okay. I'm not mad at you. But this is just what decision I decided to kind of make for myself, I guess. Yeah,
it's that selfless. I mean, my favorite thing, and we'll talk about goats. My favorite thing about Jesus right now is the selfless mentality that it creates. Right, it creates when you choose to follow Jesus. You start to look at decisions and go, why am I doing this? What's it for? Who am I waking up and living for? Is it myself? And that walk helps you get to living for your wife, living for your kids, the people you've committed to, and the people God's blessed you with already. And then looking at going, oh man, I'm praying for blessings, and look at what I've got. I've got healthy teenagers. I've got healthy toddlers. I've got my wife that's a best friend and a teammate. And I've already been blessed with so much, and you work backwards on that instead of going, but I still have to fly Delta, man. I wish I had to fly Delta.
For sure.
I feel like if I had done this, I could have been private.
If I could get a G6 or like, why aren't I driving a Lambo or I mean, especially in Naples. I mean, man, you're never the richest man in the room, and you see these private jets flying in left after left. And it's like, man,
it's a distraction.
What am I doing wrong? Like, what am I like? I'm just a Christmas light installer. Like, whatever.
No, it's the same. It's the same thing for everything. That studio that's 3 times the size, or the lighting company that's got 80 vehicles.
Yeah, for sure.
And you talk to that guy, and a lot of times it's like, you don't want my life. Like 80 vehicles. You can have them. Or G6. You can have it, because now I have friends. Like, I have struggled, and this is good. I wasn't planning on talking about this, but I struggle right now, like in this season, I have a lot of people that seem to be friends. They want to meet, they want to hang out, they want to talk, they want to help, and there's no value added. And then it's like, let me get can I get a bag? Can I get some club? And it's like, okay. And I can see like you're going to add value, you're helping, but I struggle right now with like, there's not many. And imagine if I had a G6, I'd have a lot of friends. I'd have both these phones, even more growing up going, hey, let's go. Like I have tour badges. So we can go to every tour event. Does God want me at every tour event again? I did that for a year and a half. And every live events are they're parties. There's no one working.
Yeah.
Companies are paying people to go there. And I loved it for a little bit, but I looked at them like, why am I missing my kid's first day of school? I would have been at the East Lake, or I'd be at the PGA Tour still this week, or this past week started the FedEx Cup. So I think those things, it's a good perspective to go, yeah, man, you talk to the guy that owns the G6 or has the NetJets or has the 80 vehicles doing lighting, and they'd go, you don't want this. I'm three divorces in, or I'm 2 divorces in. And there are some successful ones, the ones that have the right.
Yeah, there's a lot of always an anomaly, but
that have the right focus, and that God's blessed to go, hey, our mission was this, and it stayed this, and that's the other hard part is it's going to stay this, because then you get a video or you get an episode that goes viral, and you're like, well, let's lean into this market. The data shows us we should lean into this because it's growing, and that did way better than Kevin talking about his golf company in Florida that's faith-based or whatever. So it's that discipline.
I think with friends too, going back to that, like I mean, my mentality is like, I mean, dude, even when I came in, like the first time I'd ever came into your shop, like, I mean, you ended up giving me, I think I got like a Kobe, which is super dope, by the way, but I got a Kobe putter for my Odyssey putter.
Oh, he didn't.
But like, man, I don't think that you should discount with your friends. I mean, if you choose to give them a discount, like that's on you, but it should be like unspoken. Like I guess, especially maybe that's because I own a business and maybe not everybody necessarily does, but I only look at it from the perspective like, dude, I want you to win. You know, if I can't afford the bag, then like I'm not going to ask you for a free one to be friends. It's like conditional where it becomes like, okay, like, yeah, like where am I? Like, I'm going to say good. Like, if you're my friend, why wouldn't you say something good about it anyway?
Exactly.
Like if somebody's going to be like, man, I need some new golf clubs, I'm going to be like, hey man, have you seen Goated? You know what I mean? I was like, I don't care if you go get them, but like, man, you should maybe go see my buddy Kevin, go over there and I mean, yeah, tell him Cory say, maybe. I mean, if you decide to give him a discount, cool.
Yeah.
But like a friend should want their friends to be successful. You should ask for no discount. And that's my own take. You know, send me all the hate mail. I send him hate mail, but it's really,
no, it's tough. And it's God's working on me on this, because if there's going to be more blessings, and there's been times where I'm like that, I got guys that I haven't paid. We got guys in the room that add a lot of value, and I'd be like, man, I really want to do something, right? And I want to, this is great. This is a great, and I want to be a good friend to this, to go, am I that person? I can sit at night and go, man, now my wife's taken, my kids they don't appreciate I took them to Disney. They don't know what Disney costs. And everyone's just taken from me. The last couple of weeks has been like that for me. I've been defeated going, man, this is tough, because everyone that comes in, I have to now go, what does this guy really want?
Yeah.
Is he going to ask me for a job?
Question it when every single person in your circle is kind of like, you know, I mean, again, it's different talking business with friends and stuff like that. But I mean, as soon as it's like, hey, you know, Cory, you want to come? Hey, like, how much are you going to charge me to do the lights? Like, oh yeah, it's usually like, I actually had that happen where I was like, I actually sent him a price. I had already discounted it like $300 or $400.
Yep.
Just because I'm like, it's a friend. I want to help him out. But I still running a business. I still got rent. I still got trucks, gas, all the things.
Cheap.
And I got to buy these lights and labor and pay guys to come over. And then they're like asking me like to do it for like half of that. And it's like, man, like,
it's not easy.
Like, because what you're going to like, then you'll say something nice about me. I'm like, you know what? Hey, if you say something nice about me, that's, I don't know.
And
you
don't want to list it really high and then do half price, because then you got this astronomical.
Yeah, no, I'm like literally losing money to be friends with you, and I'm like, okay, well, I don't know that anything's going to come from it. But when I owned a gym my previous life, that's kind of how I felt a lot about it. Was like, man, everybody want a discount, and they want to come over and ask you all this. And how much protein should I be taking? And you know, I mean, we had people texting us. Like, it was like, man. At some point, I learned like almost I didn't want to trust anybody.
I know, that's where I was getting.
Like, where are we at? Okay, when are they going to ask me for like the hookup or whatever? And that's probably a lot more prevalent to you, because I mean, landscape lighting and Christmas lights is a little bit different than golf attire, especially for like when you sell apparel and hats. And I mean, so many more people could come to you. Cause I mean, even if you don't golf, like your shirts are sweet. So, I mean, somebody might just want to wear them out. I mean, I got one that's just solid black, the solid black one with the little goat up here. And I like it cause I like simple things. And so it's like, I don't like big logos and stuff like that personally. So I like that shirt, and I'll wear it out sometimes.
It's a popular one.
I get some compliments from the ladies. Just kidding. from my lady. From my lady. But
no, it's tough, and you're right. The trust is the hard part because I love people, and it becomes even more if you love people to go, man, I haven't heard, like I'll post something on Instagram even today and get buddies that are like, oh, I wish I had some gear, and I'm like, I do too. The app and the website and use code whatever for family, it's 15 or 20 or whatever
percent off.
Nothing, like no purchases. I would say we've done a couple $1 million. I'd say maybe 3 purchases from friends on the website, on the app, which is sad at looking at it, but it's like wish I had some gear on an Instagram post. I'm like, not even, hey, I'm so pumped you're doing well. That's more likely to get you some gear, right? But and it's tough. It's Jesus, again, going back to how Jesus lived, man. Imagine healing somebody and then they're off going, yeah, I did that, man. It's because I was strong, or because I
had a lot of faith or something.
And asking for the life-changing healing that they get and not showing that. So I think
it's also hard if you're a Christian and you want to be generous. You know what I mean? So you're like, okay, man, I don't want to be known as like being being stiff, or whatever. But at the same time, like, where is that balance of like, man, now I'm like, I don't really. I feel like I'm expected to give to just anybody that kind of asks or join every charity, and it's like, man, at some point, man, I have to like.
Has to stop.
I struggle with that too. I mean, as far as like wanting to help people out, I mean, every year, like I probably do some free lights. I don't advertise it or anything like that, but I'll put a couple houses up that nobody knows about, and you just go do it to help somebody out, and it's just like the right thing to do. But I can't do that for everybody. It's just impossible.
No, it's not easy. No, I'll be praying for you on that, because I know we both struggle, and I'm already thinking in my head when we met. I was thinking, oh, Christmas, I got covered now. I'm gonna use their company, but I'm sure people are going, maybe if I get close enough, if Christmas lights were, I'd be like, let me get real close with this guy so I can get free Christmas lights for my community. Like, I don't have a community.
It's a touchy subject, because it's like, I mean, you don't want your friend. I mean, I guess like I just like the idea of not an expectation of it being free. Let me be generous.
Yes.
I mean, like I remember one time, there was this was back in Kansas. There was a girl that went to my gym. They were friends of ours. I knew they were struggling financially. They're big Chiefs fans, which I am too. And I had these like old bulbs that were supposed to be like yellow. They were supposed to be like white, but they were like yellow. Okay. And so I literally snuck over to their house at night, climbed up on a 2-story roof, and I put all their lights up while they were home. Like I was climbing around like freaking Santa Claus up there. And like even they came outside one time, and I was like literally like laying up on the like, oh my gosh, they're gonna, because I didn't want it like how. Yeah. I mean, I just wanted them to come home and like walk outside and they're like on. You know what I mean? That's awesome. And so like things like that, it's fun, but it's a lot funner when you can just give.
Exactly.
Because you're just like, hey man. I had the time, I had the skills, I had the stuff, and I wanted to just be kind. But I mean, like she would have never asked me to like, hey, like I'll, say something on Instagram. I'm like, if you're my friend, you should probably say something on Instagram anyway. Like, and if we're not, that's cool. But again, why am I giving you free stuff then if we ain't that close? So I don't know. I struggle with that so much myself. Yeah. So I don't think you're alone in that.
No, I think that's good too for us to look. I'm looking now, or thinking now about. I mean, that's again that decision. Like, are we doing something for us? That was for others. That wasn't for you. That wasn't with any expectation. And I gotta always evaluate that too as we grow. Yeah, which
maybe
is
you
awesome.
Could just have like a rule. I mean, you could always break it, but maybe you just like. When I owned my gym, that's what I had to get to. I was like, any family member, I was like, I just had to set them out. I was like, I'm discounting it this much a month for anybody that's my family.
Yep.
And I'm not
no
budging.
pressure.
Like me and my wife made that decision. Like, hey, maybe it's hey, for my friends, it's 30% off or 40%. Like, it's an amazing deal. But like, then it's like, oh yeah, that's what he told me. Oh, that's what he told me too. Like, exactly. That's what he told me. And it's like, okay, well, we're You know, and then if every once in a while you're like, hey man, I threw an extra one in for you or something,
Exactly.
then that's on you. But you know, then at least you're like, you can feel good about it. And then if you want to go above and beyond, so be it. But then people aren't asking, and they know, hey, he's going to give me, I mean, what if a polo's 40 and you're like pretty much giving it to me half off? Like, that's pretty generous in my opinion.
True. And throw some other extra stuff in there.
Yeah.
Let's talk about goats. So I always do a portion of, first I ask who is a goat to you amongst all genres, amongst all that you look up to, and then we'll go through the sports. So could be an author, could be. We talked about.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, are you saying outside of sports or
outside of sports?
Outside of sports?
Yeah.
Man, this is going to make me sound like such a simp.
No, I like it.
I'm going to say my wife, man. My wife's just amazing, dude. Like just balances me out so well, does everything so good, has such a good spirit, has like, you know, I watch her worship at church and stuff like that. I'm like, man, awesome. I feel like I'm like a, you know, freaking
not worthy.
Just
I'm the same.
Man, just seems to almost always make the right decision, except for when she's mad at me.
Yeah.
Then I don't usually like her decisions, but it's usually my fault. So I think that I know that sounds cheesy, and I'm not in trouble. Just putting out, I'm not in the doghouse.
I was telling my wife that the other day. I took the kids for a couple of days, and I'm like, I don't know how you do it.
Yeah.
And I'd agree. That's a great answer.
Yeah, that's that's probably like my, like if there's anybody I could be like, it would be her.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
And what a blessing God's blessed you with that. The answer to that question is your wife, your partner. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Sure. What about in business? Do you have a goat in business?
You know, I don't know. I think in business, I don't know. This is probably not I don't have like, Grant Cardone or, you know, somebody like that. But I just think, you know, anybody that's doing business and has made it past like the 5-year mark and is continuing to do it and growing. I mean, those are the people I want to be around. I don't know that I have like, I listen to several business podcasts. So it's like, I get a little bit from each one, but I think, you know, as a business owner, like now for 20 years between a couple of different businesses, it's not easy, man. No. It's like people see you got a nice house, a nice car, but they don't see the struggle. They don't see, you know, like the money I'm forking out for these podcasts. It's like, man, I'm like looking at my bank account like this, no kidding.
Yeah.
Sometimes. And, you know, it's like they don't see that. But then when they see the, you know, the fruits of that, you know, I think that's just what makes business owners a little bit different is they're willing to kind of roll the dice a little bit more than other people. And that's what makes the world go round. I don't think there's anything. I mean, there's people that's really good to be like number 2 and number 3 in a company with a lot less stress and still probably making pretty good money.
Exactly.
And not having the stress on the weekends, your 2 phones ringing, you know, just constantly getting pulled a million different directions. And a lot of times you're just like, I don't even know, man. I'm just guessing on this. So that would be kind of like my business answer. I don't really have like somebody that I just absolutely like. They're my go-to, but I like it. Kobe's gonna be my
athlete. Kobe,
my athlete's my guy, man.
Really,
he's my.
And you're
favorite.
in Kansas. You're a Kansas City guy. I thought we were gonna hear Patrick
Mahomes. No, Mahomes is getting there, but Kobe I really honestly was somebody that loved Kobe right out of high school. So I really was truly like a Lakers fan from when he was still like not Kobe. And just kind of always just loved him. And then like, I don't know, I just like his, like even the mentality and all that stuff. I just really liked the way he goes about it. I know it's really easy to be like Mamba mentality. And, you know, I actually have Mamba on that's what my tattoo is. Is Mamba. Right. And I just like, I don't know, man, I just always resonated with him as far as like the way he went about it, his attitude on the court. Like you said, I mean, you may not be the best basketball player, but when you walk on the court, man, you got to think you are.
Yeah.
You got to believe you deserve to be there. And, you know, there's obviously
shoulder.
Different levels, of course, but he was, he's my guy.
I like it.
Yeah.
I did not think that. I did not have that. I love Kobe and the Mamba mentality. I guess probably because I grew up on the East Coast and like everything west in New York was like, I'm Miami, everything. But I still loved Jordan. And Kobe in our area was like he doesn't pass and he doesn't. Anyway, I could score 100 if I shot 81 times.
Yeah.
But you start to hear stories now of like the stuff he was passing on and the stuff he didn't do and the stuff he did do. And his teammates going, he was business. Like, and if we weren't about business, he was like, you weren't going to survive on his team, and he was selfless, really, as much as I joked for a long time about him not being
like a ball hog. Yeah. And he was like, but I shoot way more than you. Who has a better percentage chance of making this shot? And exactly. I was like, it actually kind of makes sense. Like, you're right. You probably have shot way more jumpers. So like, why not give it to you? And you think it's because they want the fame. Yep. But I was like, the question always for me is like, if Jordan were to come second and Kobe were to come first, would we all be saying, I'm not saying like Kobe's the GOAT. I don't know that. I mean, I don't even know that it's a good true argument, but I mean, I would have to say Jordan if I had to pick between the two, because like Kobe got his stuff from Jordan. Yep. But I always kind of flip flop it around, and I'm like, Jordan, in my opinion, like Jordan didn't have Shaq though. I mean, Kobe had to share a lot of his years. I'm not saying that didn't make him successful, but I mean, the ball kind of went 50-50 when it was like, okay, the ball went through Jordan 100% first, Pippen and everybody else. Again, I know that that's like an ongoing argument that'll never be solved, but I love it. I always kind of like, I don't know, man. If Kobe would have came first, I don't know. Kobe probably be the one, but I mean, there's a lot of people that could fit that criteria, obviously. But that's just like who my
is LeBron 3. LeBron, you like LeBron or no?
I like LeBron. I love LeBron as a basketball player. Sometimes I don't like his politics, and just sometimes I get annoyed with anybody. I was like, man, I want to just. Like, you're so good at basketball, and that's why I follow you. Yeah. I try to go to sports to get away from politics. So exactly. I don't always agree with some of that, but it's also hard when you don't get to hear the context and you're hearing clips of people, and I'll never like go back and watch the whole hour interview. So I could be missing some context, but I mean, I think LeBron's got to be up there,
He's a sellout for sure.
Yeah.
He's a sellout for the country for sure. I think that's,
I'm trying to be like stud. Nice.
I mean, he's like our age. And is still playing 80. Yeah.
He's his body, his longevity, his work ethic, like, and
sleeping in hyperbolic chambers, and he's done it all to stay this. I can't play pickleball without being sore the next day.
Yeah.
Golf. And
I think holes. That like with LeBron, like even when after Kobe passed, like, people, you either hated him or loved him. Like there was no in between. There was like, like LeBron for me is kind of like, I don't hate him or anything like that. I think he's a great basketball player. Yeah, I'll watch if he's kind of on sometimes. But I think that with LeBron, it's like he's just he's just a freak as far as it comes to like just like what he's been able to do with his body. But I mean, I wonder like when he retires, like at Kobe, that's when you're gonna like see either a lot of bad stuff's gonna come out about him or a lot of good stuff's gonna come out about like just like how incredible he actually was. But it seems like when people die or like retire, then all of a sudden you hear all this stuff. They're like, oh man, I didn't even know that. So I think LeBron's just he's incredible. Like,
I try to be an ambassador for this, so I say this on too many episodes, but I firmly believe in this stance. If the argument is LeBron, and we both are hoops, so this is more hoops than golfer, which is great. If it's about being one-on-one the greatest basketball player to ever live, I'm a huge Jordan fan, but it's LeBron. I think LeBron could beat Yao Ming one-on-one. I think he could meet Shaq. Shaq would actually one-on-one would be a problem, but I think LeBron still beats Shaq. That'd be fun to watch, so wouldn't it? So if the argument's like basketball player, my stance is like, then it's LeBron, unfortunately. Across the board can do a lot more, right? Yeah, and then if it's big. 5-on-5, it's Michael Jordan for me, because it's like he's proven it. The game of basketball, the NBA version of basketball.
Yeah, LeBron, like, what is he, 6'9", 250? I mean, he's like a freaking linebacker coming down full speed. I mean, it's just like different. I mean, and Kobe and just totally different players. Like in 100%. Some regards, like the skill set that they had. And I mean, I don't think you can't say that LeBron doesn't have like I don't want to call it a Mamba mentality. He doesn't want it, because I mean, you can't play like that level. No. I mean, he has nothing left to prove really, unless he just loves basketball. So that's where I respect it. Sometimes I'm just like, man, some of the stuff you say that's not basketball related, and he knows way more about basketball than me. So I'm like, if I was in the press, I'd be like, hey, you know more about basketball than me, LeBron, but you know probably about as much as I do about some of this other stuff you're talking about, and it's not much.
True. So, how about football being Kansas City? You grew up in Kansas City.
I grew up in Kansas City. Okay. Yeah. No, I mean, I'm obviously gonna say Mahomes, because I mean, he's done so much. I mean, the greatest. I don't think he's better than Brady. I'm gonna be like the greatest of all time, but I don't think that you can say much about the Chiefs. And I know people hate the Chiefs. Like, I just saw a post by, was it Zach Bryan? He was talking all this trash on the Chiefs because and we got our butts kicked. Like, I'm not saying anything about the Super Bowl. Yeah, we got smoked. But what like a lot of people forget is that like, man, we were like pretty banged up. I'm not making excuses, but like people keep thinking the Chiefs are like, nobody's talking about the Chiefs right now. And I'm like, dude, they got better on the offensive line, which hurt us. And I was like, our receivers, like we didn't have Rashee Rice. We didn't have all these guys
all hurt
half the season.
Kelsey
I mean, at one point,
Juju
Schuster was like our number one. And now he's like our number 4.
Yep.
I was like, we were that good with like half our team not playing. Pacheco was hurt. Yep. I was like, everybody, which I think is great. As
Kelsey was
non-existent. Kelsey. I mean, he couldn't have a worse year as far as like compared to what he's been in the past. True. It was a really down year for him, in my opinion.
Taylor Swift's fault.
Yeah, but
she was the MVP for you guys.
Yeah, she's
to the shareholders.
Fans, like, we're not fans of Taylor. Like, no offense, Taylor, if you're watching this, whatever. It's not like we care about Travis being like locked in, and so like naturally it goes like, oh, she's distracting him. Mm-hmm. But I mean, Travis Kelce's also pretty. He's getting up there in age. He's done amazing things.
True.
He's got a great. I think he's coming in. It seemed like he was maybe a little bit out of shape again.
Yeah.
What do I know? But he just didn't seem like the Travis Kelce the year before.
True.
So I think from a Chiefs perspective, I think, man, nobody's really talking about us right now. And I'm like, that's exactly where I want to be. Like, hey, now everybody, we got our butts kicked in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Everybody's trashing on their own, saying we're washed and we're done. I'm like, dude, we got like a lot better.
I'll tell you this. There's not an NFL fan listening on this planet that would say, I want to play the Chiefs.
Exactly.
There's nobody.
Exactly. I'll take the Eagles.
I do not want to play them.
I think on the Eagles. But the Chiefs, bro, they have a tough schedule. They got Detroit right out the gates. They got like Baltimore, Detroit, Philly, Washington.
Those three are the top 3.
Yeah, our like schedule is so tough. Good thing is most of our games are kind of at home, but a lot of those tougher games are at home. But
you got Chris Collinsworth on every game too.
Yeah, I know.
Love the clips of Mahomes.
Gosh, yeah, it's kind of tough being a Chiefs fan in the sense that like everybody wants to hate you, but it's kind of fun too. So
no, it's good. I'd rather that than my Dolphins. Everyone wants to play the Dolphins.
Yeah, I want the Chiefs to play the Dolphins because I want to go watch. Yeah, because I want to go watch a Chiefs game in Florida. I haven't got to see that yet. So
is that this year?
No, they don't play. They play in Jacksonville, but that's too far for us to like. I'm not going to take a freaking plane. I'm not going to go back to Arrowhead and watch a game in Arrowhead if I'm going to jump on a plane.
True.
So,
well, we're out of time. That was awesome. Tell us or tell the listeners where they can find you.
Yeah,
if
sure.
They're local.
So yeah, if you're local and you want some Christmas lights, now's the time to get a hold of us. You can reach us at paradiselightsfl.com, and the Brighter Side podcast is my podcast. And the Brighter Side Studios is a studio. So if you want to come in and check it out, all of them have websites, and, just reach out to me on Instagram and, or any of those places. We'll have Instagram for all those, TikTok, all the things. You can find me. I'm not hard to find, and I'll get you taken care of. So
love it. What episode was I? Brighter Side podcast.
You were episode number 2. Yeah, you were episode number 2.
Definitely go watch that one.
That was actually before we even moved into this studio. You were we were at the other place.
Yes.
And it kind of did me a huge favor because we were just getting ready to know each other at that point, and you're like, oh, this guy.
No.
But we've become and I mean honestly, the Bible study on Tuesdays is like I like structure my day around that. Like it's number 1 in my schedule. I'm literally trying to figure out how am I going to do this with Christmas light seasons, but I'm going to do my best to make sure because it's so important to me. So it just keeps me locked in, keeps me grounded. And so you guys, thank you for welcoming me into, the group and letting me be a part of it. And it's been life-changing for me. I really needed it because I had that back in Kansas and I haven't been able to find it here really. So once I did, I was like, oh man, this is it. So
same here. No, I love it. If you're listening, that's a crucial part. We talked about it. Find a good group, find good people around you, open the Bible. I know it's easy to find a good group and then get into stuff with those friends when you really connect. But the weeds is really in the Word and talking about stuff that you don't want to talk about and have an accountability partner. Yeah. So
you don't got to know everything, man. You don't got to know everything to come to Bible study. Most of the time it's one person leading and they're just asking questions about life or, hey, we read this and how did it speak to you? So it's like, just go with an open mind and you'll be fine.
It's crucial to being goated. Well, I love y'all. I love you, bro. Appreciate you.
Love you too, man. Thanks for having me on. I'm honored to be on.
We're back. The podcast is back. Pumped for this. We'll have an episode, every week or every month. I don't know. Weekly, I think. I got to talk to Chris and look at the schedule.
Look at the bank account.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
But more frequently. We're back and we got video so you can see the beautiful beard you all love.
Yeah.
Okay. And then follow goated_podcast on Instagram. We'll post when we have new episodes. Goated putters on Instagram. GoatedGolf.com.
Really cool. Goated Kobe putter covers. You know, I haven't done a Chiefs one yet, but I mean, it's probably coming.
Dan Marino first.
Yeah, I get it.
Love y'all. Stay goated. Pumped. Thanks for being on the episode.
Thanks for having me. Yeah.